Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful Sunday, the last Sunday in September, September 29th. And my name is Michael Zoldis, and I'm your service coordinator this morning, which is to say, I'm up here winging it so that the rest of you could be there enjoying this service. Thank you, Anne McSood, for the invitation. Dr. Leon Dunkley, our Reverend here, is going to deliver today's reflection. If you're new to North Chapel, we bid you welcome. I bid you welcome. And if you're visiting, please consider signing our guest book at the back of the sanctuary. We have hearing assistance devices and large print versions of the hymns in order of service on the back table, should you need them. And if you're a kid, please raise your hand. Raise your hand, kids. Okay, we have lots of children in the sanctuary today. Tatum, could you raise your hand, please? Tatum will be leading the spiritual exploration for the kids this morning, so it looks like there's a strong cohort of kids, and we'll be singing them out shortly. We will be having coffee hour out on the porch, having snacks and some fellowship after the service. Please join us out there. And if you did bring a cell phone with you this morning, I ask that you put them in silent mode right now, if you can, or switch them off. And then if there are any visitors here who would be willing to stand and introduce themselves and say where they're from, we'd love to hear from you. Hello.
Hi. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm here with my partner, Joanne. We're visiting Joanne's niece. We're traveling from Seattle, Washington. Greetings, and thank you for welcoming us.
Hello, I'm Joanne. This is my beloved niece. Hi, I'm Tina. I'm her beloved niece.
Well, welcome. We're happy you're here this morning. I know that there are a lot of announcements. There are announcements printed in your bulletin. Please look at those. Mary, did you have an announcement? Okay, she's going to come up.
So good morning, everybody. The wreath sale is in progress, as you know, and we have a little bit of a reprieve. We have to have our final one in on the 15th of October. So if you can order one, we'd like, and they make wonderful presents. So if you have people coming for Thanksgiving, you could just give them a Christmas present and be done with it. And your neighbor too, maybe they'd like one on their roof, on their front door. So Marinello is going to be with her clipboard by coffee hour, and so please sign up. This is a big, important fundraiser for the church. Thanks.
Okay, so if there are no more announcements, I have a story to tell you. The new term has started, the new fall term at Dartmouth, and I teach there. I teach beginning music theory, and I teach saxophone lessons, and I teach improvisation. But I always feel like I'm improvising when it comes to my process, my own personal practice as a musician and also as a teacher. And I had this experience on Wednesday where a new student came in, and I'm never sure where, who's going to walk through the door or what their level of experience is going to be. But this particular student is from Nigeria and had experience on the recorder, but hadn't had any prior experience on the saxophone. So I had made sure that he had a saxophone to use, and he walked in, And he was warming up in the hallway, and I heard him warming up in my hallway. I said, come right in, and I started talking to him. And come to find out, the song that, I said, what was that song that you were playing? It kind of went like this. It went, do 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 do, do do do, do 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 do. And I said, that's a really nice melody. I said, does that have words? And he said, yes, it's actually a hymn. It's just a hymn of thanks. I'm very thankful. A hymn of thanks. So the way it goes, this is what he was explaining, was, I just wanna say Baba O Eshe. Can you sing that with me? I just wanna say Baba O Eshe. Second phrase is like the first. Listen. I just wanna say Baba O Eshe. Sing. I just wanna say Baba O Eshe. That's the second phrase. Now let's put the two together. Ready and sing. I just wanna say Baba O Eshe. I just wanna say Baba O Eshe. One more time. I just wanna say Baba O Eshe. I just wanna say Baba O Eshe. I was really thankful to this student for his name is Akena. I was very thankful for him to bring that song to his first lesson, and we made that the subject of his first lesson. I taught him the scale that goes with that song, and then I showed him two other scales, and we played it in two other keys, and I made a video of myself playing it so that he'd be able to see what my fingers were doing, because he doesn't read music yet, but that's okay. He has music in his heart. Now I'm going to ring the chime, and we'll begin a period of meditation together.
Hi. My dad died a few years ago, and at this service, we put out this spread of pictures so that everybody could kind of see like My dad, when he was like Finn, when he was in college, he was a co-captain of the basketball team. So there's a great picture of him holding a basketball with his co-captain at Pratt. And there were pictures of he and my mom when they were young, and a picture of my mom afraid to go in the water at the lake, you know, wouldn't jump off the rocks, and there was stuff living in the water, so there's no way that my mom's going in that. And the thing that was tender that I keep with me, I keep all of it with me, but the thing that I remember dearly was my father's the one who taught me how to throw a baseball. And so I inherited his glove, and I put my childhood glove inside of his glove. And I put that out on the table. So it was a way of finding rest in that moment. I'd like to begin this morning with poetry. I'd like to begin with a couple of poems, an odd couple of poems perhaps. Both are written about love and about the unmet desires of men. The first one is by David Wilcox, the second by Pete Townsend. I can't decide which of these two are more surrendered or more grounded. David Wilcox writes, "We made a warm bed out of blankets in the meadow way up high. And you took off your dress in the moonlight to sleep beneath the sky. Your touch was a warm summer ocean, and your kiss made the whole mountain fly. But you can say that you always were honest, and your words were clear from the start, but there was more than just words that got spoken. There was language of the heart. This is the longing of a broken-hearted man. He is not yet at peace. He's incomplete. He still seems to blame his former lover, and he cannot let her go." Then there's the poetry from Pete Townsend, who writes these lines. "I always wanted to be matched with her, yet her beauty was so different to mine. My beauty requires a knowledge and an understanding of what I am, but hers is enough, earned through eons, for that is what true beauty is, time's gift to perfect humility." This is the longing of a different kind of broken-hearted man. He is more at peace. He doesn't blame his former lover. He still loves her, clearly, but he's found a way to heal. He's found a way to surrender, not to her, but to himself. And there's a peace in that, a peace that can radiate outward if we let it. Good morning and good Sunday. I hope that this new day finds you well. Today is Sunday, September the 29th, and the title of this morning's reflection is Just Peace, lowercase. The loving mind can rest in peace. The heart can rest in peace. The soul can rest, always rest in inmost acceptance and gratitude. All of these things are possible when we allow ourselves to grow. And we are being asked to grow by sun and moon, by wind and sky. Now, I broke my heart a few days ago. I broke my own heart, and then I quickly recovered. I quickly covered for myself. I didn't lay out a blanket for myself to rest beneath the stars. Instead, I fought and I defended myself. It's a habit that I learned as a child. I cover for my insecurities with pride and self-protection. It's done the job for years, so I went down that road again. I've always been afraid to express my tender feelings. Now, I express my feelings every Sunday from this pulpit, every time, honestly, but I'm always afraid to do so, and I'm afraid right now. I try to do my best to overcome my fear, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I try my best, but it just doesn't work out. And when I falter, I get defensive and I cover for myself, just enough to get me through the day. When I'm defending myself, I am not at peace. I'm blaming someone for something. Whatever it is, I'm stuck, I'm hung up, and I cannot let something go. I try my best to be humble. I've had humble teachers. My dad, Leon Sr., my dad was a proud man, but he was grounded, and he's quiet about his pride. I guess that's kind of humble. Don was humble. Don was a former Marine. He was a wonderful man. He was one of the leaders of the church youth group in New Jersey. He was humble. And Harold was humble. The Reverend Harold Dean, the minister of my home church. I've been blessedly surrounded by humility, but I'm not always able to surrender to it. There was something within these men that seemed to be more at peace, more surrendered than I can be at times. This is not to say that they were satisfied with themselves or satisfied with the ways of the world around them. They were not. It is to say that they had made their peace with everything and made peace within themselves, which is where peace truly begins. As the Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu says, if there is peace in the world, there must be peace. If there is peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is peace in the cities, there must be peace between neighbors. And if there is peace between neighbors, there must be peace in the home. And if there is peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart. Peace in the world begins with peace in the heart. I forget that sometimes. I believe it deeply, but I forget. I forget and I get defensive. I've gotten very good at this. It was what certain psychologists might call a winning formula for me, but it isn't working anymore. It still keeps me safe, of course, but it does not allow me to grow. And growth is what's being asked of us. Have you done something like this? Have you ever had this experience? Or are you having this experience right here and now? Have you ever protected yourself at your own expense? We don't have to go down that road. Other options are available. Other options can be transformative. Other options can be absolutely transformative. All we have to do is follow our bliss. All we have to do is do what our soul wants us to do. All we have to do is be our best selves. It's a blessing to follow your bliss and to follow with integrity, regardless of where it is leading and without attachment to the outcome. It feels like walking through darkness without fear. It isn't comfortable at first, but over time, it starts to feel a little better. And I believe that this can lead to peace. Do you know about the old baseball film with Kevin Costner in it? No. Which old baseball film with Kevin Costner in it is the appropriate response? Because there have been several. For the Love of the Game was a film about baseball. Bull Durham was a film about baseball. The Upside of Anger was a film about baseball. Dances with Wolves was not a film about baseball, but it doesn't really matter. Moneyball was a film about baseball, but it didn't star Kevin Costner. But who really cares anymore after a while? Who cares? The old baseball film with Kevin Costner that I'm talking about is called Field of Dreams. Amy Madigan was in it, and Burt Lancaster and James Earl Jones, who just passed away. God rest him. May we wish him peace. Simply peace. Thank you, James. So, Field of Dreams is still wonderful, even though it's 35 years old now. I saw this film when it first came out in 1989. I saw it in Western Massachusetts. It's a film about an Iowa farmer named Ray Kinsella, who is inspired by a voice that he can't ignore to pursue a dream that he can hardly believe. Pursuing this dream means plowing under his corn crop and building a baseball field. Supported by his wife, Ray begins his quest, the quest of transforming the ordinary into the joyful and the miraculous. The power of following your bliss, that's what this is. The power of peace, that's what this is. This is what peace can do. just peace. With the support of his wife and daughter, Ray Kinsella does just this. Late in the growing season, he plows under his corn, his source of income. His neighbors think that he's crazy, and he probably is. He builds this magical baseball field upon which dreams come true. Old players come back to life, the likes of legends like Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and shoeless Joe Jackson. Those are the heroes of baseball. But the player who caught my attention the most was not a baseball hero. He was not legendary. He was a precocious teenager. He was a rookie who went by the name of Moonlight Graham. Moonlight was the hero of the film for me. He was the most at peace, not because he makes a personal sacrifice and saves the life of a young girl, but because he made the choice to follow his bliss. He gave up the game when he knew that he had to. He was not hung up. He could let go. He made a choice informed by peace, and that choice was transformative. There was no going back. It was an obvious choice for him, and he made it with integrity. It was obvious because he was at peace. I myself am a baseball fan. I love the game, but I'm not obsessive. I understand those of us who are, but I am not one of them. I played, well, I think I'm not one of them. I played, but I played in high school. I was pretty good at the game. I had a decent bat. I was the starting catcher for the freshman team, and I did pretty well. There was even talk of my skipping over the JV team and starting on varsity in my sophomore year. Life didn't go that way. I chose art over athletics. I chose to follow my bliss, and I don't regret it. It hasn't been easy, though, to be honest. I still dream about baseball sometimes, but there's no going back. I still pretend, though. I pretend that there's some kind of way, some time machine, some portal, or some parallel universe. I still want to hit the walk-off home run, the ninth inning, game-winning home run that makes me famous. Isn't there something within us all that wants to be heroic, that longs to round third base to the cheers of the hometown crowd and score the winning run? Isn't there something within us all that longs to be that beautiful? It's hard to dream of higher levels of athletic satisfaction. I can almost cry when the ninth inning game-winning home runs happen in real life. They do happen. They happen rarely, but they do happen. And there's a parallel in faith. There's a parallel in life. Theologian Rebecca Parker shared words that might be helpful for us here. She said that towards the end of his life, St. Augustine turned to the theme of beauty. Beauty became for him the face of the holy, the face of God. Through beauty, the soul could be brought back into right relationship with the holy. Desire could be awakened by delight, these are her words. And the meaning of desire, said Augustine, was that all longing, all restlessness, ultimately leads us home to God. Listen to the words from Augustine. Again, I'm still quoting Rebecca Parker. "O beauty, too late have I loved you. You were with me, but I was not with you. Yet you cried out and you broke through my deafness. You showered your brilliant light on me and dispelled my blindness. Now I have tasted you and I hunger and thirst for more. I burn with the desire for your embraces." Dr. Parker continued. She said that true beauty draws us to the sacred in ourselves and in the world by awakening in us the rhythm and feel, the melody and the harmony, the intensity, the sweetness, the soft hard, the sweet bitter, the dissonant dissolved jazz of life, the beauty of God. The music of that beauty, Augustine and others have taught, is always sounding. It's always with us. The only question is, are we with it? The music of beauty is always resounding. It's always here. There is plenty of trouble in the world, you might agree. There is trouble in Israel and in Gaza, in the West Bank and in Lebanon. There is trouble in Russia and in Ukraine. There's trouble in the Sudan. And this trouble is sending its refugees to the CAR, to Ethiopia, to South Sudan, to Egypt, and to Chad in high numbers, 20 and 40 and 100 and 400 and 500,000 at a time. There's trouble in Venezuela, and that trouble is sending its refugees to Mexico and to the United States. We've chosen to generate animosity and a vulgar language to which I'm highly reactive. I want to preach about this, but trouble and theology are not synonymous. So I broke my own heart a few days ago. I broke my own heart and I covered for myself. I defended myself with pride and anger. Those two swords have done the job for years. I broke my own heart because I didn't listen when I could have. I got defensive and I picked up my swords and I defended myself. But swords are not theology, and neither is my defensiveness. Weeks ago, I quoted a conservative Baptist theologian named James Tallarico. He delivered a sermon that harshly criticized Christian nationalism. He defended his faith. He said, as you may recall, that there is a cancer on our religion. Until we confess the sin of Christian nationalism and exorcise it from our churches, our religion can do a lot of damage. Tallarico said that there is nothing Christian about Christian nationalism. They have co-opted the Son of God. They have turned this humble rabbi into a gun-toting, gay-bashing, science-denying, money-loving, fear-mongering fascist. It's incumbent upon all Christians to confront and denounce it. These words were like swords, like powerful defensive swords, and Tallarico used them defensively. He used them to protect the integrity of the story of Jesus of Nazareth. For this, James Tallarico feels himself uniquely responsible, but he's not alone. And yet, his defensive sword, his protection of the integrity of the story of Jesus, is not theology, or at least not the theology of peace. It's possible to mistake the sword of defensiveness for the sacred presence. They are not the same. The sword and its defensiveness are not synonymous with the holy. Might does not make right. That which is beautiful, that which is sacred, that which is holy is not defined by the sword. It's not defined by power, defensive power or otherwise. That which is beautiful and sacred and holy is defined by the presence of love and the blessing of peace. This love, this peace, it's available to all of us. And there's a song that we often sing in Unitarian Universalism. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Can we try that all together? Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again. These words are taken from Jalal ad-Din Muhammad Rumi, or simply Rumi, the 13th century Persian philosopher. He's from what is currently Iran, present-day Iran. Another verse that we tend to leave out goes, though you have broken your vows 1,000 times, come, yet again come. True peace invites our imperfection. Right? True peace accepts our shortcomings. It's hard for me to deal with my own shortcomings. I do it anyway because I have to. It's probably the only reason. It feels terrible at first, but it gets easier over time. I had this image of ministry as the defender of the holy, and not simply the holy. As the defender of peace, and not just peace. I'm growing out of that now, maybe a bit like seagulls that molt after their first years, casting off old feathers for something new, or like a cicada, leaving behind the tired shell of an older self. Or like the rattler, the snake in the canyon, sloughing off useless skin. I'm learning to leave some things behind. I broke my own heart because I didn't listen to the old song that I learned as a child. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. Study war no more. The study of the sword and shield is the study of war. And the study of war is in the Bible. There's no denying that. Everything is in the Bible. In Ecclesiastes, it is written, to everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, and a time for every purpose under heaven. A time for war and a time for peace are among those purposes. War and peace are opposites. They make for an odd coupling. War is mentioned in Matthew and in Jeremiah and in Joel and Micah and in the Psalms and in Ephesians that asks us to put on the full armor of God, but there's more than enough study of war in the world these days, and not enough study of peace. There's a story about a mayor named LaGuardia, a great mayor of New York City, and he is said to have proclaimed that if a sparrow falls in Central Park, I feel responsible. And yet, for the weight of this responsibility in defense of the city, we are led to do both beautiful and terrible things. Driven by a lofty dream of power that we don't actually possess, trying to remake heaven without peace. Can we come back down to earth? We don't have to live out our dreams that no longer serve us. Can we see that we've outgrown them and cast them off, put them aside? And in the sun of this new day, can we spread out life like a blanket? Can we lay down on the ground and look up at the heavens and realize once again that we are being asked to grow by sun and sky, by moon and stars, by wind and rain, by the heaven above, by the earth below? We are being asked to live together despite our differences. We are being asked to live together because of our differences. We are being asked to accept ourselves in peace, just peace. We are being asked to accept one another in peace, just peace. From a place of inmost peace, what is possible? I began this reflection with two poems by two good men with broken hearts, David Wilcox and Pete Townsend. I was hoping to become clever and discover something secret within them worthy of prayer. I wonder now, rather than that, if I can simply find my peace with them. Less because the authors offer peace to me. Maybe they do and then maybe they don't. I have no way of knowing that. But more because I can offer peace to them. Maybe because we can offer peace to the art that is in our world. This is how we respond and complete it. Dear David, thank you for the image of the bed and the blankets in the meadow, and for the innocence and the surrender of your words. I hope that you have found or will soon find the love for which you seem to be longing. It's so elusive, but I know it's possible. You wrote, we made a warm bed out of blankets in a meadow way up high. And you took off your dress in the moonlight to sleep beneath the sky. Your touch was a warm summer ocean, and your kiss made the whole mountain fly. What a treasured gift you've given. It felt good to say. And dear Pete, I am touched by your honesty and by what your poetry reveals. I'm not sure what it says about you, but I'm pretty sure what it says about me. You wrote, my beauty needs an understanding and a knowledge of what I am, but hers is enough, earned through eons, for that is what true beauty is, time's gift to perfect humility. You seem to know your imperfections, your limitations, and that pleases me. It teaches me to do the same, and it lends me the courage enough to find the peace I need when I feel like I've lost my way along this journey. St. Augustine once said, "O beauty, too late have I loved you. You were with me, but I was not with you." But it's not too late. And we can say this at peace. "O peace, this day I do love you. You are with me, and I am with you. You cry out and you break through my deafness. You shower your brilliant light on me and dispel my blindness. I have tasted you, and I hunger and thirst for more. I burn with the desire of your embraces." So what do you think? Shall we find a way to surrender to peace, just peace? Shall we do so lovingly, humbly, and in grace? I believe that we can do this. I believe that we will do this. And I believe that we are already doing so. Such power and beauty in those final chords. They resonate from the earth right up through the soles of our feet into our bodies. There are so many ways to unbreak our hearts, so many ways to reach to the world around us, to reach within ourselves, to settle within ourselves, to accept the all of ourselves, all rooms of ourselves welcome to our soul. And from that place of peace, relax, rest in the comfort of a love that knows no bounds. May it be so. Blessed be, and amen.